Mussar is more direct. When you learn Mussar, it's more direct application to your actual life in every way, whether it's business, like we learned about last week, or it's shidduchim, or it's really anything. It's like my father used to always tell us, Kodem kol tiyeh ben adam. First of all, be a human being. Then you can do whatever you want. Be rich, be poor, be this, be that. First of all, be a human being. And in essence, that's one of the things that we're forgetting in Torah Nation. It's not just the secular world that has problems, behaving like human beings. Sometimes it's the religious people. And I got a text from one of my other students who's very funny, but he texts me, he says, Kod Harav, you're a prophet. And I said, what did I do? He says, I went to the mikveh this morning and exactly what you said happens. Some guy was doing push-ups naked in a mikveh. And this is what we talked about last week. You have to understand that to go do a mitzvah of going to the mikveh, but then walk around immodestly, walk around naked, thinking, oh, I'm just among guys, like you're in a football locker room, you're making a much bigger sin. A much bigger sin by doing that, walking around naked, not covering yourself, thinking that it's okay because just among guys, than the mitzvah that you're making by going to the mikveh. And as a matter of fact, my Rav, who's amazing, says that he hasn't gone to a certain mikveh for 5 years already because of how people behave there. And he lives in Yerushalayim. It's not like he lives in a, full of Arabs or something. He lives in Yerushalayim. Unfortunately, it's sometimes even the religious world forgets how to behave. And the reason for that is because, just like the Ramchal says, people like to delve into the Torah, into things that are mentally stimulating, into the Gemara, into the Mishnah, into different things different parts of the Parashot, Midrashim, but very few actually have the guts to look into Mussar. And I say guts because in order to learn Mussar, you actually have to have guts. Why? Because Mussar requires you to change. Halakha, okay, so listen, today you didn't know this halakha, till now you know it. Fine, Chazak v'Baruch. Okay, so next year you'll have a better etrog. Next year you'll keep one more mitzvah in Shabbat. Next year you're going to do something better on Sukkot. Great, Chazak v'Baruch. What do you think, Hashem is clapping for you? What is he clapping for? He's clapping for when you stop being angry. Not because you're listening to some self-help book that's telling you contain all this anger inside and build cancer. That's not a working on your midah. That just means that you just kept your anger and you're not expressing it to the world. Not being angry means that you finally realize that there's no reason in the world to ever be angry. To such an extent that the Gemara actually says anyone that's angry, and let's say he takes this remote control or anything, he throws it, it's 100% just like he worshipped an idol. That throwing of this remote or a pen or any expression of that anger is 100% idol worship. So for the Gemara, which is from Hashem, it's not for me, it's from Hashem. Mount Sinai, we got oral Torah also. So for Hashem to tell us here, you throwing a remote because you got mad because your team lost. You got mad because your stock went down. You got mad because, I don't know, something happened. And you threw something across the room. You acted like an animal for about 3 seconds, hoping it's only 3 seconds, not the whole day. Hashem says it's idol worship. How could this be? Okay, Hashem, listen, I understand. We got to do mitzvot. We got to look a certain way. We got to act a certain way. We got to be nice. But come on, no, once in a while I can't get angry. Once in a while, I can't say, hey, give the guy the bird because he cut me off. Why, I can't get angry, Hashem? He goes, no, it's 100% idol worship. That extent. Why? Because he says, if you're angry, that means that you think that everything is supposed to go your way. And the reason why you're angry is because it didn't go your way. You thought that the stock was supposed to go up when you bought it, and it didn't. You thought that the employee was supposed to be on time, and he didn't come on time. You thought that your wife is supposed to talk to you a certain way, and she didn't. You thought that the baby is not supposed to fall at 1.5 years old, and he did. You thought you shouldn't get a flat tire, and you did. Life happened. Life happened. Hashem runs the world, with or without you. And you got mad about it. Which means that you think that you're a mini Hashem. Because if you think that the world is supposed to run in accordance to your tune, you're in essence saying that you're a mini Hashem. And you've made yourself into an idol. Therefore, if you actually put this into perspective, and this is hard work. This is not like you listen to this shiur and tomorrow you're never going to be angry again. This is you have to listen to this shiur and many, many other like it for 7 years straight. And then, Bezat Hashem, you're not going to have anger. Rabbi Yisrael from Salant, the one that started the Mussar movement, said that it's much more difficult for him to fix one midah than it is for him to finish the entire shas. And finishing the entire shas takes 7 years if you do daf yomi. So I'll finish my point. So the key here is that when you realize that there's never a real reason to be angry, you won't listen to these self-help books that tell you, listen, just contain it, don't express it to the world, get over it, meditate, and one of these other crazy things that they tell you to do. All they tell you to do is just keep it inside. Don't tell people you're angry. Smile. Kill them with a smile. No, Hashem is telling you, no. You don't actually have a reason to be angry, my son. Ever. Because once you realize I'm the one running the world, you know that everything that happens, I did it. What, are you mad at me for running my world? Who are you to tell me what to do? You mad at me for giving you a flat tire? You mad at me for making your kid fall? Maybe I made your kid fall because you deserve the kaparat avonot, but I didn't really want to give you what you really deserve, which chas v'shalom meant something much, much worse. So I said, okay, let him suffer a little bit over 3 years. Instead of chas v'shalom, the kid breaking the leg, you got a little scratch 6 times over 3 years. It's much better than the kid breaking his leg. You got a flat tire. Why? Because I saved you. Because there's an accident that I had to make down the road, and I wanted to save your life. So I made you have a flat tire, and I saved your life. So you can tell me how to run the world. So when you get mad, you're in essence getting mad at Hashem. And you're trying to tell him how to run the world. In essence, you made yourself into an idol. So this is the reason why once we realize that, we're never going to get mad. Well, what's the question?
Can we ask questions? Yeah, I believe in the Gemara states that Hashem does get angry. Hashem gets angry, and it says in the Gemara, he gets angry. How long does he get angry? Shniya.
Rega. For Rega. In Masechet Brachot, in Masechet Beitzah, and a few other places.
It's like a second.
Rega is different than a second. Rega is an actual. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The time that you say Rega, that's how long Hashem gets angry.
Right.
That's what I learned. Is
right.
Gemara. Now it also says that Hashem gets angry every day, I believe.
Right.
Every day, Rega. It also, we are also supposed to emulate the midot of Hashem.
Right.
Tomer Dvorah, right? Palm of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what's the question?
So the question is, are we allowed to get angry?
No.
Once every day?
No.
Rega?
No.
Why not?
All of the midot that there are, according to the Rambam and according to the Ramchal and all of the Sifrei Mussar that you have, the Rambam explains it in 8 Prakim, that all of the midot have extremes. Everything has an extreme. Every desire has an extreme. There's extreme, desire for money, someone that loves money, and there's someone that hates money. Neither one of them are healthy. So what's healthy? Middle ground. There's someone that loves women and someone that hates women. Neither one of them are healthy. Middle ground. Everything is good with middle ground except one midah. What's the midah? Anger. Anger, you have to be to the extreme of never being angry, which is very difficult nonetheless. I'm not telling you guys to become Moshe Rabbeinu tomorrow, but you have to know where to get to. You have to know where to aim to. Why is anger something you have to be extreme from? Because nothing good can come out of it. So what does it mean when the Gemara says in a couple of different places that Bilam, the way he knew how to give his prophecy, to give his curses, and so on, is because he knew the moment that Hashem was angry. Which you could also figure out by looking at the rooster. The rooster's, I don't know what this part is called, on top of our head. It has a strip of white at a certain moment during the day. It's called rega in English, in Hebrew. Rega is not really a second, because a second is actually a factor of time, whereas a rega is 1/15,000th of a second. Nonetheless, point is that the Gemara says that Hashem uses this rega, uses this moment, to get angry. But it doesn't actually mean that Hashem gets angry. But what it actually means, what Chazal explains, is because it can't be that Hashem gets angry. Why? Because if Hashem gets angry, that means that Hashem has emotions. If Hashem has emotions, that means that the emotions are stronger than Him. That means that the emotions are God. So Hashem doesn't have emotions, just like He doesn't have a strong hand. You know, it says Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong hand. He doesn't have a strong hand. Just like He said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you could see my back, but you can't see my face, because anyone that sees my face dies. He doesn't have a face, He doesn't have a back. One of the 13 principles of faith is that Hashem has no image and no likeness of an image. So what does it mean when He says Hashem gets angry for a second, or for a rega? It means that Hashem uses and utilizes that moment to deliver all of the punishments on whoever deserves punishment for that day. That's the time He uses to deliver all the punishments. Because obviously, there has to be a moment during a day that Hashem punishes us. And if it was throughout the entire day, we wouldn't survive. If He used the entire day to punish us for every single thing that we did, we wouldn't survive a minute. This is actually the reason why until this day, Am Yisrael is suffering from the golden calf. We're still suffering today. 3,300 years later, about the golden calf that happened 3,000 years ago, people you don't even know.
Didn't Hashem forgive us? He gave us the rachamim, the principles.
He forgave us by not destroying us.
He forgave us. He said, okay, I'll forgive you. Moshe Rabbeinu pleaded, yes, don't destroy us, don't destroy. Okay, fine, I'll forgive you. This is the way how if that's going to happen the next time. Hashem, El Rachum V'Chanun, Apayim Rav Chesed, not say Chesed La'alafim.
Right.
That's when Hashem taught us that. Hashem, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. So the correction is that yes, He did forgive us by not destroying us, because Moshe Rabbeinu told him, listen, if you're going to destroy them, Hashem told him, I'm going to start a new nation with you. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, I don't want you to start a new nation with me. As a matter of fact, wipe me out first. Erase me from your book first. And Hashem obviously said, okay, so I forgive them. But it doesn't necessarily mean that He forgave them as far as forever. What He forgave is by distributing the punishment over the length of this world's existence, instead of delivering it in one moment or even 1 year. Because if He delivered the punishment in a shorter period of time, it would be too much for us to absorb. We would all die.
So Hashem has not forgiven us. Has only said, okay.
He's distributed the punishment over a long period of time. We're still suffering. According to the Gemara, we're still suffering for the golden calf until today, until the Mashiach comes. Every single suffering that Am Yisrael has, including the fires that are happening in Israel, including the Holocaust, including the pogroms, including everything, part of it, not the only reason, but part of the reason of why it's happening is a kaparat avanot for the golden calf.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.